Kia ora, good evening. Yet another dairy has been the victim of an aggravated robbery in the city. Around 1 a.m. this morning, two men entered the Gladstone Night and Day Dairy on D Street in Invercargill. The offenders entered the store with their faces concealed, with one yielding a machete which he presented towards the dairy employee. The staff member was left unharmed by the incident. An undisclosed amount of money and tobacco were taken before the offenders left on foot. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Plans for an extensive new retirement development which could boost the local economy were unveiled last week. Presbyterian Support Southland has released plans for a multi-million-dollar development at its Vickery Court site in Invercargill. 43 new fully accessible one- and two-bedroom apartments will soon feature adjacent to the existing PSS rest home in Waikiwi as of next year.
We'll be looking to start off with stages 1 and 2, probably towards or in the first quarter of next year, and hopefully have those completed by the end of the calendar year.
And what brought these developments on?
So this would be our fourth lot of residential accommodation for owner-occupied, and each of the sites have been really successful. There's quite a huge demand, but we're looking for smaller apartment style living, which is more affordable. Well, essentially there's a demand for housing for older people, so that's the benefit for the community. It provides more housing for older people in the community.
There's a need for development for between housing and rest home and hospital care for people with probably higher needs of care, but it gives people another option that currently is being unmet at the moment.
And what will these apartments consist of?
There's one bedroom and two bedroom apartments. They'll have a kitchen, they'll have a living area, their own bedroom, and a wet area shower, bathroom with a laundry facility. It would be in excess of $10 million for the total development, and that doesn't take into account purchasing of all the houses that the 7 houses that we've had to do to make that happen.
Invercargill residents crowded in the city's CBD on Saturday to enjoy the sunshine and some family shopping in what's now to be an annual event. The Esk Street Mall Christmas Market Day saw several thousand people wandering around the city centre throughout the day, enjoying market stalls, sausage sizzles and Santa Claus.
It was a huge success. We had several thousand people turn up for the day, packing D Street, Esk Street and Cambridge Arcade, as well as flow onto Tay Street. So the plan worked to sort of connect the dots, I guess you could say, of each street, but using Esk Street Mall as the anchor. And I think it was just creating a fun party atmosphere. We had buskers as well as Into the East playing, so it was a relaxed, feel-good atmosphere, and I think everybody loved that buzz that the town had.
So what kind of feedback did you get from retailers?
Well, some of the retailers have told me that this was one of the best days they've had in years. Other retailers have said that they were just blown away just by how many people were here.
And how about feedback from the public?
The feedback has been really positive, and it's been comments like, we've got to do this more often, when's the next one, when can we do this again, sort of thing. So it has been really really positive to get the feedback.
So what are the next stages?
Well, the next stages now is to sort of do a bit of a debrief, and then put an update back to council with a plan of what I think we need to do going forward to do something similar again. How does the redevelopment plans work in with your plans? Well, I think that's quite exciting, because obviously once council's done up Esk Street next year, and I think they've been quoted as saying it's a 3-month project, then it'll be great to have like a grand reopening or come on down and see what they've done. So I think then it gives us a whole lot of new opportunities to do things for a different time of the year, but again on a bigger scale.
The Southland District Council last week held a public excluded meeting to discuss purchasing the rural property of Blackmount School. The recent closure of the school has prompted the town's residents to request the council buy the property for the betterment of the community. Sharon Rees spoke to Southland District Mayor Gary Tong to find out more.
The Blackmount School has been in existence for 103 years and unfortunately it's closed, having only 3 students. So the decision by Ministry of Education was to close it. The community wished to secure that property for the benefit of the community as a community centre. The community already own 70% of the swimming pool on that property, also own the playground and other bits and pieces of that school, obviously through the community input over the years. So it's appropriate that they try to secure it for the future.
And why was it made public excluded?
It's public excluded at this stage because of some commercial reasons with the costings. We're working with the Ministry of Education, with Land Information New Zealand and also Ngāi Tahu to come up with a proposal that will benefit not only the community but will be, the people that own it, which are LINs, would be happy with. So there's no hidden agendas with it. It's just a matter of keeping it confidential until we can actually secure the funding and bits and pieces for the proposal.
And when do you think that will happen?
I would hope that all the parties get everything together and that we have an answer before Christmas for the benefit of the community. The land itself is going to be subdivided so that the property contains the existing school building that's been closed, the existing community centre, which is the old hall, which is over 100 years old, and the swimming pool and the grounds that come with it. And it does not include the schoolhouse.
Stay with us. Still to come, one woman shares her auntie's delightful story of adventure, art, history and humour in the subantarctic islands from 1890, plus testing methods to keep our streams brimming with life. Welcome back. Deriving the best way to complete drainage maintenance works on sites like the Waihopai River is behind a study being undertaken by Environment Southland. It's hoped trying new techniques that minimise disturbance to living streams will reduce sediment fallout and improve fish mortality rates.
Every 3 years in these particular catchments, our catchment division goes out there and clears everything out of those drains to enable the drainage clearance, and we want to assess the impact of that on the aquatic habitat. So that's what we've been doing out there.
Has there been any indication that that drain clearance is dangerous to the fishing habitat in those areas?
Well, you're stripping a lot of it out, so yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of mortality involved, and so, but it is necessary for farming activities to occur. So we're sort of in that point where we definitely want to benefit the farmers. That's what we're there for. But at the same time, we want to do things in the best way possible and the most environmentally friendly way as possible.
So it's part of the Living Streams project. You perhaps are looking at ways that are less disruptive to do that clearing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, so we're looking at instead of stripping an entire branch out and removing all of that habitat, we're looking at doing it in little segments. So that's the main aim of the study, is to look at those little segments and see, well, okay, is it financially feasible, and also does it actually help the fish life in there? Like you're leaving them with some habitat and stripping out other bits, so therefore they've got areas to go and shelter in, as opposed to stripping everything out and throwing it on the bank. There are potentially other things that we could bring into it. We have changed from using a weed rake to rip everything out to using a bucket, and that's more from sedimentation issues, because with a reed rake all of the sediment sort of drops out below and you're still causing fish mortality, versus a bucket where you can sort of pull all of that sediment out. And when combined with a staggered clearing, those fish, as soon as they hear the digger coming, they shoot out into that uncleared area, and hopefully when we go back and reassess it, there'll be a better population that survives that disturbance.
A travelling exhibition with a twist featured at Invercargill City Gallery over the weekend. Author and artist Cynthia Cass was in town showcasing her latest exhibition, The Subantarctic Islands, as well as launching her new book, We Three Go South. The exhibit and book launch go hand in hand as they both focus on Cynthia's and her ancestors' love of the subantarctic islands.
The book is based on a diary written by my great-aunt Ethel Richardson as a result of her trip to the subantarctic islands in 1890 on the ship Hunimoa, which was a government steamship servicing lighthouses and establishing depots on the island. The funny things that happened on board were often created by very simple circumstances. They seemed to be always hungry, and they were always appearing at the galley door to ask for food. They would be given some food to take back to the cabin, which they would share. But they also did things like apple pieing people's beds, tying up the pyjamas of the sailors, and playing pretending to be men on board.
Reading her aunt's diary prompted Cynthia to not only write a book, but to travel to the islands herself and paint what she saw.
Our first trip was in 2001 on Breaksea Girl, which is a 16-metre ketch, and another trip was made on the Spirit of Enderby in 2007. And I needed to see for myself these wonderful wild places that my great-aunt and my grandmother had talked about. So it was a very exciting trip for me, and I have also fallen in love with the area and done a lot of paintings of it.
As the big day draws near, more familiar faces are sending out their holiday messages to the region's residents. Today we caught up with Gore District Mayor Tracy Hicks for his well wishes over the holiday season.
2014 has been a very busy year for the Gore District Council, and 2015 promises to be absolutely as busy again. Certainly some challenging issues to get our heads around, certainly in terms of water supply and both drinking water and wastewater, but also promoting our place as a wonderful place for people to come and live and work and play. And the rural city lifestyle that we offer in Gore, we believe, is second to none, and we'll be continuing to promote that as hard as we possibly can. On behalf of the Gore District Council, it's my pleasure to wish all the viewers a very merry and safe Christmas and New Year period. We live in a wonderful province, a fantastic province with lots of fantastic opportunities and full of wonderful people. So if you have the opportunity to get out and enjoy the province over the Christmas break, I'd really urge you to do that. But don't forget about what the real message of Christmas is, and it's about spending time with family and friends and just having that quality relationships. So all the very best from myself and also the Gore District Council. Have a wonderful Christmas period.
Next on Sport, ice hockey action. That's after the weather next. From the news team, good night.